How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age, and this is another...
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, and this time we are going to be covering Supergirl.
Yeah!
And yes, I'm mainly covering Supergirl because of the movie that just came out.
This is her second movie.
Well, yeah, it is the second movie. Now, there are many versions of Supergirl out there that most people know as Kara Zor-El. And in the 90s, there was a version of Supergirl out there known as Linda Danvers, and there was Power Girl for a time that was Kara Zor-El. And there are many different versions of Supergirl out there, whether you're going by the first movie, the second movie, the CW TV series, the version that appeared in the Flash movie, any of the DC animated series, like the Justice League, or whether you're going to go with the Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, the 3-part movie, which I thought was very good. There are many different versions out there, but the one that most people don't talk about very often is the one that we're going to cover today. It is the very first appearance of Supergirl that actually came out in 1958, 1 year before Kara Zor-El. She appeared in Superman Comics number 123. It was a wish from Jimmy Olsen. It only lasted for one issue, but this was the idea that paved the way for Supergirl. And on the cover here, it even says Superman, featuring a 3-part novel, The Girl of Steel. Now, she is only in the first part of these 3-part stories, so we don't need to go over the entire thing. But I think that this is awesome because when Supergirl appears in 252, her miniskirt is blue, but her premiere of her miniskirt in the Superman 123 is red. So it's weird, some of the things that they changed. And then this is a great cover. Superman, this feat proves I've got superpowers equal to yours. Now tell me your secret identity and I'll tell you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. So let's go ahead and cover this Supergirl, which paves the way for, everything we've had, with the Supergirl that we have today. But this is going to be the original one. I know it's Silver Age, skirting the edge of Bronze Age. But hey, this is just obscure enough that I thought it would be great to... Supergirl first appeared in Superman 123 in 1958. She is created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino. She is not actually the first super female to appear in the comic book. She's the first one to go by Supergirl with actual superpowers. There was a Superwoman, which actually turned out to be Lois, which I would like to cover that because it is Golden Age. There was a Supergirl that appeared in 1949, which is also Golden Age, which we could cover, where Superboy is making a girl appear to be Superwoman, but she doesn't, or Supergirl, but she doesn't have any powers. In Superboy 78, there was a Super Sister. I haven't actually reviewed that one yet. Recently looked it up. Apparently, Superboy was being very misogynistic and disrespectful to a female alien who changed him into a girl, but by the time the issue ended, we found that it was just an illusion, but he did learn his lesson. And then there is this Supergirl in 123. Now, this Supergirl actually did have the distinction of being a prelude to Supergirl Kara Zor-El. This was actually, and what was it? It says DC used this story to gauge public response to the concept of a completely new female counterpart to Superman. So that is actually what this Supergirl was. Is she debuted to see people's reaction to having a female counterpart. Now, with this one being hopelessly in love with Superman, they made it different with a cousin because they probably thought that a relationship dynamic worked better than, the love story, considering Lois was still crazy about him. But, I mean, and they also mentioned that the costume that she's wearing in this very first appearance is what Helen Slater would wear when she did the Supergirl film in 1984. And there was a lot about that. I think apparently they originally were going to have Superman appear in her film, but, there was stuff going on why Christopher Reeves didn't appear. But I heard that was actually a thing that was supposed to happen. But yeah, this was the first Supergirl with powers to appear, and called Supergirl, opposed to Superwoman being Lois Lane. So we're going to go ahead and cover this appearance in the story. It's kind of silly, but if I had seen this concept in 1958, I definitely would have been jazzed to see something like this, which would appear a year later, starting in Action Comics. Unfortunately, even though Supergirl appeared on many of the covers in Action Comics, she would be a backup feature for a long time, which I think was kind of unfair, because if she's going to take the cover, you should at least make her the featured story, but they were more concerned with Superman back then. But let's go ahead and cover this very first Supergirl, and you can see what they were really doing with the prelude. Superman, presenting a great 3-part novel featuring Superman, the world's most fabulous hero. Chapter 1, The Girl of Steel. At last, a female partner for the Man of Steel who can perform mighty feats. Chapter 2, The Lost Superpowers. See what happens when Superman loses every one of his extraordinary powers. Chapter 3, Superman returns to Krypton. A strange fate brings the Man of Steel face to face with his parents on Krypton before his world exploded. And, yeah, we're only going to be reviewing the first part. And right here you see on the cover, you see Supergirl and Superman working together. The meteor is about to Why is there a meteor about to destroy Metropolis? That meteor is about to destroy Metropolis. Superman is using his super breath to blow it towards Supergirl so that she can melt it with her X-ray vision. What a super team they'll make when she becomes his super bride. Oh my God, Lois. I mean, I know it's 1958, but oh my God. Whenever there is a disaster, you can be sure Superman is on the job. I lashed lumber and debris together into a raft big enough to hold all the flood victims. Wow, that would have been very useful on a number of occasions. And whenever there's a scoop, you can be sure Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, reporters for Daily Planet, are at hand in a flying newsroom and getting into an incredible amount of danger, hence him always saving her. I'll take aerial pictures, Jimmy, while I parachute down and get first-hand story of the flood. But the intrepid girl reporter meets bad luck. Goodness, my parachute didn't open. Why are you jumping out of a helicopter in a massive flood rain? Even if your parachute opened, it would soon implode. Oh my God. Okay. This probably annoys me more than it should because I am actually a paratrooper. In the realm of jumping out in weather like this, it would not happen. We would be putting our lives in danger, doing something this recklessly stupid. You don't jump out of your vehicle in a maelstrom like this. If it's raining hard enough for it to flood the city, you don't parachute out. I don't care if you want aerial photos. And yes, like I said, this annoys me more than it should, but seriously, this is just stupid. I mean, you're supposed to be smart, Lois. This is the stupidest thing I've seen you ever do. Well, she did go up in a rocket ship with Superman, and that's when I met Brainiac. But still, this is really stupid. Moments later, luckily I saw you falling, Lois. You were below her. You should see her falling. Oh, Superman, my hero, you've saved me countless times. Yeah, maybe you should have a running tally on that. Okay, so he puts her back into the flying newsroom. Oh, it actually says flying newsroom on the side of the helicopter. I didn't know that. It shows you how much I've read old Superman comics. Okay, Jimmy Olsen is a pilot? He's the one flying. He's supposed to be a photographer. When did he learn how to fly a helicopter? Jimmy Olsen, Superman's young pal and greatest admirer, feel sorry for him. Gosh, that would solve everything. If we had a magic wish, we'd wish for a Supergirl. No, you're not wishing for a Supergirl for Superman. You're wishing for a Supergirl for yourself. Let's not lie now. Okay, so let's see. An archaeologist is trapped inside. Follow me as I bore a tunnel into the cave, Jimmy. Why would you be bringing the photographer along with you while you're tunneling into a cave to save an old archaeologist? I mean, if this were the title comic book, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, then I would understand that. But this is Superman comic. Yes, there are a number of Superman titles. But there's no reason for Jimmy Olsen to be around while Superman is doing this in his title. This isn't Superman's pal. Okay, I'm alright. I was studying these Indian relics when the landslide happened. How can I reward you, Superman? How did Superman know you were trapped? I would really like to know how you were able to get a hold of Superman to let him know that you were trapped into this cave, because you don't seem to have any electronic equipment on you. Well, just how can I reward you? Just give Jimmy a souvenir as I return to the city. So that night, this is the weirdest looking totem I've ever seen. Here's your souvenir, Jimmy. The ancient totem inscription reads, once every century, magic totem grants 3 wishes when the jewel is rubbed under the full moon. Pure superstition, of course. Okay, something like this belongs in a museum, not in the hands of one of the most impetuous people I have ever seen in comic books. Every interpretation I've ever seen of Jimmy Olsen, he's always been so impetuous. Okay, when Jimmy's alone. Too bad it's only a silly legend. If it really worked, I'd rub this jewel and say, I wish that a Supergirl with Superman's power equal to Superman would appear and become his companion. I believe everything you said except for that last sentence. I believe that you would wish for a Supergirl, but not to become his companion. I mean, come on now. Turning away with a laugh, Jimmy does not see the gem blaze strangely in the moonlight. Okay. And apparently the totem can talk, because after she appears, it's speaking to her. It does come true, as a phenomenon unknown to modern science solidifies the radiations into the amazing form. Hearken, the last 3 wishes were granted a full century ago. Thus it is time. You are the first wish, Supergirl. Go and join Superman on the morrow. I obey, totem spirit. I am going to the next page. That's all I have to say about that. I'm going to go to the next page. Next day, Superman is on his usual patrol. There's a plane flying out of... Okay. I know it's common to introduce super people with planes falling out of the sky and helicopters. Hell, they did it in the Supergirl TV show. Why are there so many horrible pilots in the air that they need to be rescued by a super person? Let's see. Suddenly, now I join Superman. Oh my gosh. What made that terrific backlash of wind? I'll miss catching the falling plane, and then Supergirl catches it. I'm sorry I flew so fast, I upset you, but I saved the falling craft. You see, I'm Supergirl. Supergirl, huh? Am I, dreaming? So they work together to bring the plane to the ground, and she explains how Jimmy Olsen wished her to life, and that she has all the powers, and she'll be his constant companion. Well, I must... Sorry, I just read this. Okay. Well, I must thank him for his unselfish wish. Come along, Supergirl, the Daily Planet. It's where Jimmy works. Yeah, I bet you want to thank him. Jimmy felt you were lonely and needing a lifelong companion. Are you glad I'm here, Superman? I'm pretty sure that Jimmy meant the wish for himself. Let's not rush things, Supergirl. You're quite the impetuous short. Impetuous? Look who summoned her. I mean, he's got to be the most impetuous person in the comic books. Even in the James Gunn movie, Jimmy Olsen was super impetuous. So we get back to Daily Planet, and Jimmy is talking to Lois about what he did and the wish that he made. Yes, Jimmy, meet Supergirl. Holy cow! And as soon as the super pair leaves, they're hand in hand. Say, she's a peach, huh? Guess I didn't do too bad a job of wishing, Lois. What chance have I anymore with Supergirl around? They'll fall in love and get married. Choke. I really don't like this love-struck, falling over Superman version of Lois, because if you see Lois nowadays, she is the overly confident, cocky, not putting up with any kind of bull, that she's just fawning over the fact that she's going to lose Superman. In modern comics, she'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And in this, she's just like, oh, I've lost him. It's just, I don't like this version of her. I mean, even in this panel right here, consumed by jealousy, Lois remembers another inscription on it. She says there's an inscription, she can wish him away, but Superman wouldn't have me anyways. It would be mean to take Supergirl away from him. She'll make Superman happy, sob. I hate the way that you're fangirling over him there. It's actually a little embarrassing, but it is 1959 and the women are supposed to swoon over the hero. Okay, so happy Lois. You might change your mind if you saw Supergirl's next impetuous deed. So they go to this warehouse fire, and Superman blows it out, and she thinks that if she helps, it'll go out twice as fast. But the two super breasts together blow the roof off of the warehouse. So they grab it, and she apologizes for making it worse. She meant well, but I just wonder if having a super helper is as good as it seems. And then they're at a bank vault, and somehow one of the bank tellers have locked himself into the vault. How do you do something like that? So, and it is funny, the bank teller doesn't even ask Superman to help. He tells Superman, use the heat of your x-rays to melt the time lock, Superman. Well, I mean, it's nice that you're ordering him what to do. So she decides to use her beams too to melt it twice as fast, and it explodes. Why the two x-rays meeting together explodes? I mean, I guess it needed to have another piece of conflict, but come on. How are two beams of heat going to result in an explosion? Okay, they said that they got the teller out of the vault, but they did it the hard way. Instead of less work, I'm making more work for you, Superman. I'm sorry. And she's crying, too, because every girl fawns over Superman. Okay, so he tells her to cheer up, and they'll go to separate sides of the city. That way, if they're not, combining their efforts and there's only one super thing going on, it'll work out better. Okay. Later on Solo Patrol, Supergirl finds sudden danger. Let's see, heavens, the elevator is falling. It's loaded with people. Help, the cable's broke. So she... Let's see, I'll smash through the side of the skyscraper to reach the elevator shaft in time. Well, yes, let's cause so much more collateral damage. But apparently both of them show up at the same time and they smack into each other. And they barely get the car lowered down in time. So I hope we don't meet again at the same job later. And Clark has got other things to do. As they separate once again, an idea strikes Superman. Supergirl has all my powers, so why not let her handle things by herself? I'll get out of her way and carry on my work as Clark Kent. Now I'm being smart. I mean, you say that. So, he's walking with Lois. This solves everything. If I give Supergirl a clear track, she can't possibly get in my hair. And as she flies over, she sees Clark dressed up. Why, that face seems familiar. I'll use my X-ray vision. Oh, hello there, Superman. She just outed me in front of Lois. And she's shocked. Isn't that ridiculous, Lois? What made her call me Superman? Because you are Superman. You couldn't fool her X-ray eyes. Your secret is out, Clark. How will I ever cover this up? Jimmy meant well in wishing for Supergirl, but she's turning out to be a super nuisance. So later, Superman confronts her again. So you see, Supergirl, you gave away my secret identity. Now you will keep away from me and let me go on the patrol alone. And she feels very sad and dejected because Superman basically said, get away from me. So as he's flying through, he sees this flood coming over a railroad track. And there is a train on the way, because of course there is. Because, Metropolis is one of the most dangerous cities in the DC comic books. Okay, so super muscles enable Superman to avert calamity. So he pulls the train track up into the air and is going to keep it steady so the train can pass over. The tracks will stretch enough for me to hold the train above water for them to pass by safely. And it just so happens, because everything is coincidental in Metropolis, these guys are flying over where Superman is helping, and they have a large block of kryptonite. Unknown to Superman, a plane has followed him, piloted by vengeful criminals. Okay, so they did follow him, but still, this is so stupid. I've been waiting for a chance to drop this kryptonite. Why does everybody have kryptonite? More deadlier than an H-bomb. Losing his super strength, he'll let the train crash. He'll never live it down. He says he's getting whipped to the kryptonite. And Supergirl actually shows up. But luckily for Superman, the Girl of Steel has been watching him constantly with her telescopic vision. My super breath blew the Krypt plane down near the police. Now I'll remove the kryptonite, Superman. You see, not having been born on Krypton like you, I'm immune to the stuff. Thanks heavens, you saved me, Supergirl. But she falls down and she's suddenly getting weak. She says that she lied to Superman about the weakness. The wish that Jimmy made her a duplicate female version. So she has all of his strengths and, unfortunately, all of his weaknesses. And this large block of kryptonite is doing it in for her. That evening, as Jimmy hears the faint knock on the door, Supergirl, what's wrong? We'll just go ahead and go through this last page. Okay, the whole last page. Supergirl, what's wrong? Got here, at least held kryptonite too close, fatal. Oh, okay, here we go. It's broken up, so got here at last. Held kryptonite too close, fatal. I won't recover, but I was no help to Superman anyways. It's best that I go. Rub the magic. Jimmy, please, so I'll disappear. Heaven forbid that you wish her to be healthy or wish that the kryptonite didn't affect her anymore. I mean, there are so many better ways that you could go than to wish her out of existence. I mean, the last thing she did was good. She blew the plane down near the police station and helped get the kryptonite away. What do you mean you were of no help? If you weren't there, that ball of kryptonite kills Superman trying to save the train, so you were absolutely helpful to him. Just wish to be better. Farewell, Jimmy. Give my love to Superman. Goodbye, Supergirl. I'll never forget you. And Supergirl is drawn back to the mysterious limbo from which she came. When Jimmy tells the sad news to the office the next day, she gave her love to Superman, then vanished. And then here's Lois thinking, but even with my super rival out of the way, Superman will never marry me. As for Clark, I'm keeping his secret. Wait, what's this note? My darling Lois, I've fallen madly in love with you, but I am too timid to pop the question in person. Will you marry me? Clark Kent. Now, this whole explanation of him keeping his secret again is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but here it goes. Oh my goodness, if Clark were really Superman, he wouldn't dare propose. I'd accept. Then it must have been sheer chance of mistaken identity when poor bewildered Supergirl called him Superman. It's sweet of Clark, but I could only marry you if you were really Superman. I figured she'd reject Clark, but what if she had accepted? Whew. That night, Jimmy sadly ponders the outcome of his first wish. My first wish for Superman didn't turn out so good. I've got to make it up to him with my next wish. What will Jimmy's second wish be? See Chapter 2 for the thrilling tale of the 3 magic wishes. This is still one of the most convoluted ways that he's kept his secret as Superman, which, seriously, with the way he felt about Lois, he shouldn't have been keeping it a secret from her anyways. No, that's Supergirl. Alright, I hope you liked this video. I hope that you may have learned something new. Yes, I am wearing Superman original. Well, no, not even technically original. This is more of the 80s and 90s version. And yes, I did go see the Supergirl movie. I didn't think it was too bad. Okay, so like I said, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I've got more superheroes on the way, so until next time, I'll be seeing you.